Hi, my name is Eva Naruta Manurung. Here we will explain about chapter 3. So, critical participatory action research aim is to changing people's practice, including to their understanding and what kind of condition the practice will be conduct. So, to defining practice, there are 4 points. The first one is say and think. People say many different kind of things in course of practice, but with same aim. There are many references that may help us to changing practice. By these two, while do the practice, it will be more better to give us pause or hesitate. So in this moment, we try to figure it out what the function of describing, interpreting, explaining, orienting, or justify the practice. The second point is movement or behavior. Practice is not only about how hard we say and think, but it also about how hard we do a move. This also about point number 3, action and activities. So we have to say and think and do more action. So the fourth point is about relation to the object. Relation to the object means that we have to focus on object in the practice we have conduct.
Continue for my friend explanation, and my topic is practice and practice architectures. Uh, from this topic, the term practice architecture describes how practice are influenced by a variety of situated and contextual factors. Practice architecture are similar to other perspectives on educational and curriculum reform, since curriculum change cannot be narrowly attributed to teachers' misinterpretations of innovations or policies. The next step in thinking about critical participatory action research is to focus more directly on the nature of our social practice, according to Chemist 2012. And these features all help to constitute educational practice, but we are not always aware of them simply because teaching is a very complicated activity which requires us to think, act, and make judgment by habit much of the time. And in this book, there are books from Braxton High School. Uh, on this view of practice, the site is crucial. The site is where the arrangements are or are not to be found, where the relevant practice architecture do or do not exist, while other social theories hypothesize social structure that are meant to hold practice in place. Our view is that it is sites that hold practice in place, real everyday place like your home or your school or the supermarket where you shop. Uh, and I think that's all. Practices and practice architecture in critical participatory action research. We have suggested that action research aims to change practice, people's understanding of their practice, and this condition under which they practice. This is a form of the definition of action research that Stephen Camis and Robin Amsterdam framed long ago in the Allies version of the Action Research Planner, now out of print. Since the time, and especially in the last few years, that formulation of understandings, practice, and the conditions of practice seems more fortuitous than we understood at the time. Some new forms of practice theory give redo and importance to these ideas. For example, the work of philosopher of practice, uh, and this is there are example elements of practice. Uh, Braxton recycling group described what they were doing as improving recycling habits within their school community to grow a culture of environmental stewardship. And this is example practice architectures. Uh, 10 students and Jan, the lead teacher, met weekly. The principal, district staff members, head custodian or janitor, parents and teachers who supported certain task free in and out of these meetings. Uh, and for the practices, understanding may form intentions, but practice does not simply enact intentions. The doing is always something more than and different from what was intended. And while I already prefer features in these ways, however, each new episode of a practice makes possible new understandings that may reshape the discourse in which it is oriented and conducted. Each new episode makes possible new activity that may reshape the material and economic conditions that enable and constrain the practice, and each new episode make possible new ways of relating uh, that may reshape kinds of people input. Uh, this everyday variation and evaluation of practice is the opening through which co-participants in critical participatory action research enter a setting with the aim of studying really in order to transform it. As our friend Orlando Falsberg 1979 put it. Okay, I think that's all for my explanation. I say thank you.
This point is about practice changing practice. Practice changing practice aim was to transform what the practice means, transform what the understanding about what we say and think, and then transform the condition of practice that relate to the others and things which is in the same circumstance around the practice course. So in this book there are 7 points related to this topic. It was stated by chemists in 2005. The first one is practice have meaning and purpose for participant and others involved in or affected. The second is practice are structured by the lived experience of participant. Third is practice are situated. They are located in the same particular people circumstance as they make and remake their lives. Fourth, practice are temporally located. They involve in individual acts in collective action shaped by the biographies, personal or professional of the participant. Fifth, practice are frequently systematic. They are often meant and developed through professional roles and functions that are usually institutionally protected. Sixth, practice is always reflexive. It shapes the continuous and identities of participant, and it also changes the social situation in which it occurs. The last one is practice involve practical rationing, mean that in the course of practice, participants deliberate about what to do in uncertain situation and always guided by moral intent and intent. To us, there are three conclusions or main point in this chapter. The first one is practice change is to make the class more rational and reasonable. Means that, like the previous explanation, there are relation between what we say and think. So if the class have more ability in say and think, so the class will be more rational and reasonable. The second is practice change is to make the class more productive. Uh, like relate to the what the class done or doing, of course there will be the outcome. And the last point is to make just and inclusive. I think this point can be achieved by doing the first point and second point clearly. Gathering, analyzing, and interpreting all of the learning element can be developed the class to be better class, so this last point can be achieved. So that's all about our explanation about this chapter or chapter 3. Thank you for your attention.